Hello, everyone. Hi, hi. Just making sure you can hear us okay. Yeah? Looks good, looks good. My name is Kayla. I am the project and community manager for 1000 Dreams Fund. It's so great to have all of you here today. And beside me, you may recognize a couple faces. Meadow Ash, hi, how are you?
Hello, I'm doing great. It's nice to be here with the both of you today and everybody in chat and, everybody in the community.
Yeah, I'm doing great as well. I'm so excited for this. I've been hyped all day and then I got like all just awesome, nervous, amped up, and especially seeing so many guild members in the chat right now and seeing just all of the community spirit and all of the love that everyone's sharing with each other is making my heart feel extremely full in this moment. So it's a really great evening for me. How about you, Kayla?
Doing good, doing good. Same. I was a little nervous, a little shaky. It's hard not to be nervous, right? It's such a awesome, wonderful collaboration we did earlier this spring, and today is a really big opportunity for many people. So, yes,
Oh
thank you
my
both.
goodness, you're getting a hype train.
Oh my god. And the raids came in hot too. Thank you so much. We have Luna Lyric, Birchie Frou Frou, too many names. Oodles of Noodle. Thank you all so much. I promise we'll do more thank yous later. I know we want to get into it. We don't want to keep you all waiting too long, right? So, if you are here, I can give you a quick background on why we even are live today. Today we are announcing our Twitch Women's Guild 1000 Dreams Fund Broadcaster Grant winners. Earlier this spring, Twitch Women's Guild collaborated with 1DF on a variety of different events, but mainly fundraisers to help fuel some of your dreams, some of the guildies' dreams. Of those funds, 75% of them go right back into the hands of guild members, and 25% of that goes back into trans members who are interested in getting support for anything that could be hardware upgrades, TwitchCon, you name it. So we're going to get into the fun stuff and talk a little bit about that collaboration and why we even did it in the first place. So, Meadow Ash, I think most people here probably know who you are, hopefully. But would you mind to maybe give us a little bit more about you, yourself, what you do?
Sure, I'll let Meadow go first.
Oh, you're so sweet, Ash. I was literally just about to be like, yeah, Ash can lead off, but thank you. Well, my name is Meadow. My pronouns are they, them, and my main passion as a creator is and if you can hear, I don't know if Zoom is filtering it out, but if you can hear purring in the background, Mew Mew is here in my lap as well. Everyone in the guild will be familiar with who that is. But my main passion as a creator is in experimenting with how we can push the boundaries of digital storytelling and immersive world building. I apply that on my own channel, where I've been inactive for quite some time because I've been so busy being a guild leader. But I'm really excited to be planning a relaunch of my stream coming up in the next couple months. And on my stream, what we do is create an interactive mystery as a framework for my episodic content. So there are multiple different meadows who exist in different realms of the Meadowverse, and we move in between them depending on the kind of content we are playing. Aside from that, I also am really passionate about event production, specifically about virtual theater and empowering other digital creators to explore means of creating theater or serial storytelling here on Twitch in particular and anywhere in the virtual space. So that's me.
Amazing. Ash, what about you?
Hi, everyone. My name is Ash. I stream on Twitch as Ash Said Hi. And of course, honored to be co-leading the Twitch Women's Guild with Meadow. I mostly focus on retro games and indie games with a retro vibe. And I love playing Nintendo games as well. I've been creating content on Twitch since March of 2019. I'm also a Twitch ambassador, and my main drive especially as a leader in the guild, is to be able to provide educational content, be able to share all of the knowledge that I have that I've learned throughout my career. I also love hosting. I've hosted many panels across many different shows all throughout my career. And I've worked with many different brands. And yeah, I love helping people learn how to become better creators and giving people opportunities and being in this position of service, not only as a Twitch ambassador, but also as a guild leader, is one of the biggest privileges I've ever earned in doing the stuff that we do. as a creator here. So, yeah, just personally, I also love art. I love photography. I love traveling. And Bobby is here somewhere, She's always lurking around somewhere, but who's my cat. But yeah, I'm very, very, very honored to be here. So happy to be a part of all of the collaboration that we've done and helping to fund dreams and get guild members, whether it's to TwitchCon or helping them upgrade their setup. Like it's really important that we continue to do this kind of work.
Absolutely. I think there's a bit of a joke in the guild too, right? That the cats are the real co-leaders.
Yeah,
They're taking over. They're taking over.
it's true. It's true.
Ash and I are mere figureheads. The
Yeah.
cats are actually running the guild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If the
Exactly.
secret's out, we might as well just say it on stream.
Exactly. So again, yes, we know you both as our fearless leaders, co-leaders of the Twitch Women's Guild, and this is the second year of the Women's Guild. So congrats to you both on being such wonderful leaders in this space and being able to provide these opportunities to the guildies too every day. Not just this awesome grant, which maybe I'm partial, but there are other things that are going on behind the scenes every single day that you all do. So what initially got you inspired to get involved and apply to be a co-leader in the first place?
Ash, do you want to lead off since you let me lead off last time?
Sure. Honestly, I had a really great conversation with Coco. Coco was instrumental in me applying and gave me a lot of confidence to feel like I could make an impact. But the biggest driver was, as I said, educational content is super important to me. And I wanted to be able to provide something back through everything that I've learned and experienced. And when Meadow and I got the role, like one of the first things we did was figure out a year's worth of tools that we could help provide guild members with so that way they can go out in the world and, conquer and do good things and be amazing and, do the things that they do. So my biggest driver was wanting to make an impact and make the streaming space better. And I think that being able to provide tools to people in any of the Unity guilds is a way to enrich our space and give people autonomy to have the kind of career they want to have.
What about you, Meadow?
Yeah. First of all, I just want to say how much, how fortunate we are as a guild to have Ash in the role of, effectively our guild's director of education, because that is such an incredible strong suit of hers and something that she has such a legacy of having offered even before she was in this role, creating that kind of content and really promoting a culture of not gatekeeping so that whoever is coming up after us can have an easier time, is something that, Ash has really embodied in the way she moves in this space. For me, I think really my strong suit is very much in event production, and in organizing projects that bring people together in ways that foster community. And that was a large part of why I applied. I feel really passionate about using events as a showcase and a mechanism for uplifting marginalized creators in particular, as well as for some of what I was referring to before, really innovating and pushing the boundaries of what's possible in digital storytelling. And actually, before doing the 1DFX TWG raid train, starting out in the guild just, as a member, I think, really just by happenstance, the order of events, but the first guild member to put together a raid train. And I think that was an example of how I've used my approach to event production to create these really large-scale collaborations, that really at their heart, I always start with the why. And this is really important to me that I'm prioritizing and empowering and caring for the creators involved so that they leave any event they're taking part in with confidence, enhanced and having been built up by the people around them, connections that they didn't have before, often with education or tools that they didn't have before being part of that event, sometimes all of the above. And I did that already as a guild member and a mentor, and my dream was that if I could be in the guild leader role, I could do that in a way that would have an even bigger impact. So that's really the mission and the specific skill set that I bring, and that the raid train that you helped out so much with, Kayla, and also Ash, for the Twitch Women's Guild and the Dream Express, that raid train was really aligned with that spirit of making every single person in it feel seen more than any other goal. And so I'm obviously not just proud of how that event not only raised all those funds that go directly back to empowering creators and also that are allotted in a way that emphasizes the inclusion of trans women who are women and who are some of the most powerful icons in our guild. But I'm also really proud of how that event was run with so much care for the experience of each creator and how uplifted and celebrated the event could make them feel as individuals rather than just, a machine kind of churning out a string of streams without that investment in making sure that, first and foremost, we're making sure that anybody who wants to be included and who is looking to be uplifted can have that experience. And I have to say, just because the people in chat, I know I'm doing my trademark rambling, so I'll wrap it up, but that the train spotters and the behind the scene teams who met me in that philosophy and vision of giving that kind of personal attention and care to everyone were truly the heart and soul of that fundraising event. I'm so proud of each and every one of them and so deeply grateful for all that they gave to that fundraising train. I'm prouder still of how the entire community involved banded together in this spirit of like, no guilty left behind, caring for one is caring for all. That's what this program was designed to be about. And no matter how politics or other external factors might try to dilute that culture, our collaboration with 1000 Dreams Fund is an incredible testament to what a Unity Guild can be at its best, and exemplifies exactly why I took this job and the kind of event that I want to be producing more of.
Absolutely. And I think to your point, we're going to hear from some of the folks behind the scenes who helped make the train run later this evening. But I said bring the tissues because I might have some tears. It really does make you well up to know, like you mentioned, just whether you were fundraising or you weren't, or you're new to the guild or you've been there for a while. Everyone got a moment to shine, and yeah, I'm excited to share some of my favorite moments later, but also talk to some of the folks who helped that train run. But thank you, Meadow and Ash, for making such a wonderful event that everyone got to participate in too. So I think we've talked about this a little bit already. What is the connection between maybe Broadcast Her and Twitch Women's Guild, which I think is very serendipitous. It makes a lot of sense. The connection are pillars of funding, mentorship, hiring opportunities. You all instill that within the guild already, and are doing such great work. But why was it important to do this collaboration for a second year this spring, in your opinion?
I just talked so much. So in whatever order you want to go in, Ash.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely go first. I mean, I think just all the ways that we align, right, in highlighting, marginalized people in this space who need the highlight, right? There's so many elements out in the world today that tell us we don't belong or that we can't or question, what it is like, our presence here. And to have like an organization like yours do the work that they do and fund dreams and show others that they belong is it's deeply impactful. Like how many people are inspired by who they see in the space and then feel like, okay, I can do this, right?
Yeah.
So by giving, everybody that you give an opportunity to exist and to find the funding and upgrade what they need to upgrade or like even the experiences that you all do, like with the jobs that you help people find and all that kind of stuff, like that is what this space should be about, showing others that they belong. And so I feel like that is the mission of the guild, making sure that people feel comfortable, they feel safe to be themselves. And I feel like we align in so many ways. Like it was, no thoughts in my mind that would be like, why wouldn't we do this again? It just feels so right. So yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah. Meadow, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I do. I think what I really value about 1000 Dreams Fund, as someone who's been a grant recipient myself and knows what it feels like to have my dream believed in, is very related to exactly what I was saying about what made the Dream Express Raid Train event so special for me, making people feel seen and valued and centering them in an environment that so often doesn't give them visibility, doesn't value them to the same extent as creators who aren't marginalized, and doesn't center them. And I think it's incredible to, I know firsthand what it's like to have that experience of a Thousand Dreams Fund saying to you through a grant that not only has an impact in terms of what a creator can apply that towards and how it can, absolutely be career changing, but in addition to that, the fact that when you receive a grant like this, it's a really profound statement. You matter. What you create matters. What you create deserves to be valued and uplifted and centered. And if you exist in, a system in which what you create is marginalized, that's not a reflection on the value you have to offer. And that's something that I think is really, really important. I know it was tremendously empowering for me and affected me really deeply on a level that then, doesn't just apply to who I am as a creator, but to my personal development as well as my professional development. And so that's why I think that 1000 Dreams Fund does is incredible, because this is real advocacy in action. And it's not just for members who are benefiting from this, but for all of the creators whose voices are impacted by a system that doesn't let those voices often be as loud as others that aren't marginalized. And it's one thing to make appearances or advance optics around programs that empower those who are historically underserved, but really all of that kind of thing is meaningless if it doesn't have the backing of real systemic change and opportunity for those who are historically underserved. And those are the kinds of creators whose efforts have built the Women's Guild and the Twitch Unity Guilds, not just who make up its membership, but who make the Guild what it is. And so I think what's really profound about what 1000 Dreams Fund does with these grants is that it's not just surface level advocacy, it's actually something that applies towards structural change, and that's the only path toward creating lasting equity.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know Ash and we were on a panel earlier this year at PAX East, actually. So Ash has heard me say this already. So please forgive me. But there's this comic that I've seen in the past about equity versus equality. And many folks, especially femmes in the space, you'll hear, well, we're just treating you like one of the boys, right? Which is absolutely just absurd in itself. But what we're doing here, what we're asking for is not equality, equity, building a box that helps us be able to reach our potential, right? And that's what 1000 Dreams Fund is about. The comic that I reference is a fence where there are three folks of different, maybe heights. And so one is a little bit shorter, and then there's one that's much shorter than the rest, and they can't see over the fence. And so what we all are doing, what the Twitch Women's Guild is doing, is building the box that is high enough for them to be able to see over the fence, like the others, right? And so, absolutely, and I think that's something that we're so excited to be celebrating tonight, is getting folks to TwitchCon, being able to network, being able to meet their fellow guildies, find opportunities, job opportunities, but also get hardware, equipment, upgrades that they need and are not able to afford. So, yeah, it's a very special night tonight. So we're so excited to get into
Kayla?
that. Yes.
I know
Yes.
I've yapped so much, which you knew I would because you've had me on before. May I say, I promise
Yes.
it's one sentence about
Absolutely.
that comic. I have to say, even though I really appreciate that comic and
Yes.
think that it illustrates the point that, you and I were making just now,
Yes.
my dream of what a program like 1000 Dreams Fund can do, or the Twitch Women's Guild and Twitch Unity Guilds can do, is to just tear down the fence completely.
Yep. And that's liberation, right? Taking the fence away, that in itself, that's liberation, which is the end goal. Us dreaming big, if you will, right? So I have a few questions for each of you and about your backgrounds and just sort of what led us here in the first place. Ash, I know you are really passionate about sharing the stories that have shaped you in gaming. You've done that through some of the panels you've been on so far, like the one I just mentioned at PAX East.
Mm-hmm.
So we met actually last year at PAX East, and we
Yeah.
got some time to sit down and chat. But
Hmm.
being able to do that is very much, a privilege to be able to even attend an event, right? And so, that being said,
Yeah.
what does it feel like being able to get even more guildies to TwitchCon 2025 and help bridge the gap to access later this year?
Oh, that is really important. I think it's paramount. I know what going to these events have done for me, and I know how it's helped shape my career, not just being able to speak to, staff members who attend or other industry experts and professionals, but being able to connect with other broadcasters like on a human level and meet people. You definitely get a different sense of what it means to be a creator when you start meeting people in person. And because it opens the door to collaboration, it opens the door to get to know people and socializing with people on a different level that, you know, online is great and wonderful. And, there's definitely ways to capitalize on that. But being in person is something I think is extra special. So being able to, fund trips like this for some people, it could be their very first trip like that, and that is an experience that lasts with people, and show them that they matter and that the work that they do, the work that they do matters, and I want that to be something that they carry forward with them and know that there's people out there who want to see them win. So, it deeply, deeply matters for people to be able to go to these events. I can't tell you enough how many opportunities have opened up for me and how I've seen opportunity open up for other creators who are able to go and talk to brands face to face. So that way, when the email comes around because they're looking for talent, it's not like just a nameless face, right? It's like, oh, wait, I met that person and they were really passionate about this thing. And I feel like they would be a really perfect person to be like an ambassador for this kind of, product or event, or, a good streamer for this game or whatever. So, yeah, I think it's one of the most important things that we can do to get people to events like this.
Absolutely, I agree. And I think, again, if I had not gone to PAX East last year, we would have never met. And so, the relationship we
Yeah,
have now and being on a panel again this year, it may have been completely different had I not been
right,
able to go.
right.
Um, and Meadow, for you mentioned earlier, you've worked on some really phenomenal events over the years, especially in the name of charity. Last year, I think, was probably one of my favorite things I've ever seen on Twitch ever. Um, I won't, toot your horn, but Meadow did put together an entire live Romeo and Juliet play, right? Some of the scenes were pre recorded, but the entire production was done live right here on Twitch. And you didn't do it just one night, but multiple nights. So amazing. And like you mentioned earlier, you put those skills to the test with the Dream Express this spring. Um, can you maybe give us a little bit of background on that event? I know you've touched on it already, but for folks who don't know what the Dream Express was, maybe let us know.
Yeah, so the Dream Express was a raid train that worked to showcase. Gosh, I can't even remember. I'm sure one of the train spotters in the chat knows how many creators we ended up having in total. But I want to say that, including folks who were involved in collaborations, we had well over 90 creators involved, and then even more when you bring in the behind the scenes crew and the extended community that stepped in to support and be available as backup or to collaborate with other folks. So raid train, I'm assuming at this point the culture is fully versed on what that is, but just in case there's anybody coming to support 1DF that isn't familiar with that aspect of streamer culture, a raid train is an event where one streamer has a designated period of time when the spotlight is on them and we all show up to celebrate their stream. And then at the end of that window of time, they raid into the next creator in the line and we keep going on and on. And something that I think is really extraordinary about this, that I noticed in particular with this raid train, is that it's also this like simultaneously fun and beautiful sort of game, really, where yes, we have our actual goals for the train, that we were raising funds during the train. Those who weren't raising funds were just raising awareness about this grant and about Thousand Dreams Fund and about guilds, that we're celebrating and centering each other. And those things are the heart of the event. But then woven through it is this fun kind of the floor is lava type streamer festival where it's like, okay, we're gonna hit go live starting with this person, and then we're gonna pass the ball of being live from one person to the next. And like hitting the lava would be if someone's stream were to crash or if we were to break this chain, and everybody comes together and goes out of their way to sort of make this ultimately imaginary is not quite the right word, but like not, tangential to that main point, or maybe in a weird way supportive of that main point. Um, I don't know anything else like it. Like the 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 sense of having that common goal for a period of time, and the way that we all will invest in that. Like there are people who weren't even part of the train, but who were ready on standby at a moment's notice to be like, if anything drops, I'm ready. You can divert to me. And I think that that's a really beautiful bonding experience and really special. And it comes back to how this was not just a fundraiser, but a community effort that was rooted in really deeply connecting with each other and showing up for each other and showing up for a common goal, showing up for caring for each other. And then that extends out into these, bigger thematic goals that are what underpin the guilds themselves and 1000 Dreams Fund, which again is what makes this such a beautiful pairing and like natural collaboration between these two organizations. Because really what we do with an event like this is by rooting it in care and in inclusion and in uplifting everyone, we are really forwarding that culture of equity. And that's the kind of culture that we're here to protect. That's the kind of culture that I'm here to lead. That's the kind of culture that I think everyone on this call and everyone in the chat is here to invest in. These systems and moments that uplift all of us and uplift our common and shared goals.
And I think I saw in the chat just around 100 creators took part in that train. That is phenomenal, right? Listen, we have tech issues, right? Just before we started, I had a little bit of a mess up, and I thanked Ash and Meadow for waiting with me. 100 people, 100 streamers. It's stressing me out a little bit, but I know how great it went. So it was so lovely. And to have folks come from outside of the train, right into the train, like you had mentioned, from other guilds coming in too, showing love, that's what it's all about at the end of the day. And I think that's what this collaboration also is. That's sort of our mission, is uplifting each other. Yeah, helping you get to your dream, whatever that looks like. Before we close out, I want to thank you both again for speaking with us. A huge thank you from not just me, but all of the team at 1000 Dreams Fund. I know it took a lot of work to put this collaboration together, and your continued dedication to uplift guildies, but everybody in this space. It's legendary. I can't wait to see what else we do together down the line, and maybe there's a year 3 in our future too, for the guild in 1DF. So
Maybe there's a year 2.5.
a 2.5, 2.5. Hey, speak into existence. But Ash, Meadow, do you have any final sort of tips, info, anything you want to share with the chat before we close out?
I mean, keep being you, keep being fearlessly you, do good in the world, focus on making a good impact, have a gratitude mindset, just, be yourself. And like I said, don't be afraid to be yourself in this space.
Absolutely. Meadow, what about you?
I'm excited to see our members really continue to stay rooted and become even more rooted in our community's actual needs, even when that may challenge the existing systems that, as marginalized creators and marginalized people, we find ourselves in the midst of. This program means the world to me. I've met quite literally my best friends not only on this platform, but in the world through the Twitch Women's Guild. And Twitch absolutely changed my life. Would take a much longer ramble than we have time for me to explain why, but it absolutely changed the course of my life to start streaming on this platform. And there's nowhere else that I would want to be a creator. And I believe in this guild, and I believe in this platform enough to really want to encourage everyone to ask more of these spaces around us, especially for those who have historically been left out. Because, you know, the members of Unity Guilds and the Women's Guild and the broader network of underrepresented creators who don't yet have a space in a guild, these are the people whose needs too often fall through the cracks. And so I really want to call on all of us to really hold ourselves accountable to making equity more than just a buzzword, and to really all working together to maintain the kind of foundation that, you know, Coco Confession, who, you know, was mentioned earlier. Ash is quite likely in this role specifically because of Coco saying, hey, you should do this. And Chelsea Bites, who, you know, are the women who built the Twitch Women's Guild from the ground up. They really built a culture of mutual care and of joining voices together and of really keeping our eye on that bigger picture inclusion that we're fighting for. And I do think that this level of event, if we as marginalized gender creators had more support and fewer obstacles, we could see even more of this kind of impactful event, this level of, you know, event and collaboration being produced all the time. That is the real potential of these guilds. And so I really want to encourage and empower all of my fellow guildies and our allies beyond the guilds and anyone who is waiting to find their home in a space like this to join with us in really holding ourselves accountable to that mission and to, you know, continuing that tradition of a rising tide lifts all ships and of truly keeping our eye on the prize of the fight for equity that those who founded this guild, you know, laid as a foundation for us.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it any better, I think.
And thank you, like, for everything that you do, Kayla, and for being such a, you know, key component of ways that we've been able to stay that course this year. It means the world. Thank you for everything that you do. You're a rock star.
No.
Thank you, Kayla. Thank you so much.
No. No, thank you again, Ash Meadow. Again, this your leadership is so critical in this space, and this would not have been possible without both of you. So thank you. It's been really easy, I think, working together. So hopefully there is a 2.5. I know everyone is anticipating our upcoming announcement, but before we get there, I have a few folks who are going to be joining me, some fundraisers who helped fuel these grants up next. In the meantime, check out some of our favorite moments from this spring's Streams for Dreams in the Dream Express. Thank you. Bye.
I'm Sophie. I'm your new cleaning lady. I just started work today.
Hello, welcome in everyone. I hope you had a lovely time over at Wolfstream. Thank you so much.
Cephas, what? Whoa! Thank you so much. Holy heck. Thank you, Zephys. Thank you.
Here we go.
Life and death and love and birth and peace. Life and death and love and birth and peace. Planet, life and death and love and birth and peace.
Twitch! Hi, welcome on in. Oh my god, thank you. Wait. Oh my god. Twitch.
I actually can't. Oh my. She can't cry. She's not allowed to. I told you. Twitch, what are you doing?
This is... Oh! I'm sorry. I don't need it.
Oh no. Big hammer.
Can I like blow this up? Oh!
Oh! We can't blow it up. Oh my god! Oh my god! Holy oh my god!
You went above the goal. Pox, $145? Oh my freaking goodness. Can someone clip that?
Wait! Oh my gosh! Girl, keep going!
Oh no!
No! No! No! Wait! No! 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 Girl.
Thankful for Meadow and Ash for organizing this. Yes, yes. Thank you to them and also for like all the like train spotters and like everyone who's like made stuff for this. Like there's gone in a lot of work. Is that a sentence? A lot of people have done so much for this raid train.
To 1000 Dreams Fund. Oh my gosh. Are you... Hold on, chat. Wait a minute. Thanks to Brisby. Thanks to Brisby. We are now at $25,000 dues.
Very much appreciated, and it means a lot just to have you support not just me but the 1000 Dreams Fund and the Twitch Women's Guild. Like, it's extremely important for us to raise awareness towards this and have the support there for all our marginalized identities.
Thank you all for the love and support today. Not only for moi, but also for each other and for the Women's Guild and for the 1000 Dreams Fund. I really appreciate it. So, thank you all.
Hello, hello, Guildies. Hi. We're so excited to have all of you here. We're going to talk a little bit about Streams for Dreams, Dream Express, Twitch Women's Guild, and of course the announcement that's happening later. How are you all doing? Good, hopefully? Yes? Yes?
Yes.
Yay.
We're doing good. Yes.
Good.
Yes.
I was just complaining about the weather. I'm here in Ohio, and the heat wave has been absolutely ridiculous. So I'm sending everybody very cool vibes this week. So I know a little bit about each of you. You know, I checked out your profiles, even if we haven't chatted before. So, you know, I might have a little bit of background, but chat might not. So would you mind to maybe tell me a little bit more about you, what you currently do? And anybody can go first.
I can go first.
Yeah.
I'm the Hello Sweetie. I go by Sweetie River Melody because, yes, it's Doctor Who reference. I'm a part of 3 out of the 4 Unity Guilds, the Women, the Latin, and the Pride. In the Latin and the Pride, I'm actually event and project planning mentors. And then in the Women's, I have the event and committee role with somebody else here in this lovely chat with us. And then I am based in Hawaii right now, and I like being able to be resourceful for not only myself but for others here, part of the guild, but honestly all over Twitch. So
Yay. Brandy, do you mind to go next?
Sure. I am Brandy, or Slay with Brandy on all other socials. I'm a full-time content creator. I've been doing it full-time for almost 6 years now. I love all things horror and comfy. I'm like a mixed bag of stuff. I'm also a cosplayer, and I am part of both the Twitch Women's Guild. I'm actually a mentor in the guild. I've been part of it since the beginning, and I feel incredibly blessed to be part of it all and be able to work with other guildies on the back end of stuff to help with just, you know, bringing opportunities and things to everyone. And I'm also a member of the Pride Guild, which is really exciting. So happy to just be part of all of this, and the fact that Twitch has put together these programs for us to be a part of and to collectively come together for things like this and to bring awareness and support to these different marginalized groups.
Yeah, agreed. Wolfia, do you mind to go next?
Yes. Hello, my name is Sophia, and I usually do a lot of DBD, which is Dead by Daylight, or any kind of horror type of games. I like to try out those new interesting games that everybody kind of wants to get their hands on. It's been getting really fun. I'm also part of the Twitch Women's and Latin Guild, which is really fun. It's been really interesting to just be able to meet so many cool people that have very similar goals or views that are very similar that really help kind of navigate you through the crazy world of Twitch and just social media in general.
Absolutely. Marge?
Hi, everyone. Oh, okay. I didn't see my highlight real fast. I was like, uh-oh. You hear binging? That is my bird. But hi, everyone. I'm Care Desires. You can call me Marjorie or Marge. I'm a variety creator. I started streaming Genshin purely and not Sunhaven. You know, those little farmer sims that are nice and comfy, cozy to play. But now I am a variety streamer. I play a lot of MMOs and RPGs. Those are my pride and joy since I grew up playing stuff. Apologies for the bird. That's Sheba. She would like out of her cage if y'all can hear her. I am part of both the Women's Guild and the Pride Guild. In the Pride Guild, I serve as an event and project planning mentor. And in the Women's Guild, I am a event committee member along with Sweetie. So that's always fun. It's really fun being part of the guilds and getting to know other guildies because we all come from different backgrounds, and getting to make those connections is really fun. And it's nice being able to get to know other people because a lot of us, you know, COVID kind of closed a bunch of us off from life, and streaming and being part of the guilds kind of helped me with getting back out there into being social and everything. So I really like getting to know other people and the aspects of just being a little social butterfly and helping others with planning events and stuff. So
Absolutely. And I don't hear the bird too bad, so I think we're
okay,
good. We're
I
good.
can hear her.
We're awesome. Well, you'll have to bear with us then, I think, at that point. Luna, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. It's me, Lunity, and you can call me Luna. I am a variety VTuber new to the guild. Just joined earlier this year, and it's been pretty exciting, actually. I stream a whole bunch of different things as kind of like an ADHD streamer in a way. Mainly a lot of games that focus a lot on that are very story driven because I love the story and I like doing collabs with other people, community games. But I also do IRL streams wandering around Japan, which is where I am currently based, as well as art streams and learning streams. And basically, I've been using Twitch as a tool, not only to kind of keep me focused on a lot of the goals and things I want to do, but also to reach some personal goals, which involve like a lot of community outreach and empowerment. It's been a place where I've felt like I've been inspired and likewise feel capable of inspiring others to kind of be positive and feel that they can make a difference. And especially this year, being a part of Twitch Women's Guild, where everybody has been so welcoming, I felt like I can belong, and that there are other people that are like-minded, and it's kind of led me to go more in that direction where I want to be encourage people to be a part of something and feel that that's possible.
That's amazing. I love to hear that. And I love to hear you're in Japan too. I put everyone's link in the chat, by the way. It's pinned at the top. So I think I have some folks that I need to follow after the stream. So definitely make sure you're doing that. We're going to get a little bit more into your background with the Twitch Women's Guild too. And so it's so great to hear so far how each of you have worked with the guild either for a little while, or maybe you're new, or you're even part of the events committee or mentor yourself. So we'll chat more about that later. But I am curious, something that's big here for us is our dreams, right? And many of you as creators yourself, you might have a big dream. So do you mind sharing what is your dream in content creation? And it's a big question. So, but anyone, feel free to hop in.
Well,
oh no,
go ahead. Go for it. You first.
Okay. I was gonna say, I guess I'll start. When I think of my goal in content creation as a whole, it might sound simplistic, but like my main goal is to just be able to do this as long as I physically can and be able to do it as my full-time profession. Prior to getting into content creation, I was a teacher, and I have a lot of experience in working with others and collaborating on things and education and such, obviously. And I have OCD to the highest extreme. But I never felt like I could be myself. Being in the education world, you're very limited on your entire life. Like even cosplaying, I couldn't post pictures of the cosplays that I worked on or that I made or photo shoots I did. Like I had to keep, I've even streaming, I had to keep it like a whole secret from my everyday life. And now being a full-time content creator, I feel like I can really come into my own, like, and I can be expressive of the person that I am and the person that I want to be. And I love that, especially for women in this space as a whole, there is no ceiling for us, or I like to see it that way, that there are endless possibilities in different platforms that we can create on, and different companies we can work with, different avenues we can delve into, different creators that we can meet, you know, traveling to different places. Like there's limitless possibilities that so many other professions don't allow for or don't give the opportunity for. So as simple as it seems, I feel incredibly blessed to be able to have been doing this full time for a few years now. And I just want to keep moving in a positive direction where I can continue doing this, continue growing my brand, what I'm doing, how I'm working with others, and just I'm trying to be the next like Skyrim granny doing this in my 80s. So
That's the
I'm
real
here for
dream.
that. That's
the
what I'm here
dream.
for.
Yep. Anyone else? Yeah.
Yeah, to kind of build on that, it's a similar case where with my content creation, basically I wanna learn and grow to a point where I can be like so many others before me have come and done, but be like an inspiration to others that they can be able to do the things that they want to do, and show that they can be themselves and be open and not have to hide. And I want to provide a space, even if it's just as my small little corner, like a space for others to again be themselves and do what they want to do and not hold back, not be held back by, oh, I'm not very good at this, or I can't do this, or I'm really scared. It's like, well, that's all of that's okay. You don't have to be good at it, you know. And I feel like a great way to be to get that message out is through like a platform like this, where we kind of organically network and just we connect with each other and support each other. So that's really what I would like to do.
I'm similar with both of them. I do kind of pivot into a different direction too, where, within the past, I'm gonna say 3 or 4 years, my health has taken a dive, and I have a bunch of, I'm disabled, and I'm still dealing with trying to figure out what's going on with me. And I like to educate people that, yeah, I'm disabled, but even though I am not of abled body, look at what everything that I can do and achieve through this platform and stuff. And I want to help, encourage others who might feel the same way, that, who might feel down about their disability, or they feel like they can't do it. You can do it. And I want to be there to help you do that, because I improve along with other people who are in the guild who are disabled too. They're doing it as well. And we're always all there to uplift one another through our days where we have 0 spoons and stuff. So I think that that's become my biggest dream. So
I love that. Uplift. Lift as you go up too, right? Like
yes.
that's the other thing. Like
Mhm.
push the
Mhm.
ladder down for others as you make it up. So
Mhm.
anyone else want to share?
Definitely with everything. Hold on, can y'all hear me?
Yes. Yep.
Yes.
Okay. I was all like, it didn't highlight my stuff, so I'm all like, I don't know if nobody's hearing me. Um to just kind of amplify not only the femme voices that are on Twitch, but to also be able to help highlight more BIPOC voices, because being Mexican Indigenous myself, we're always kind of pushed to the shadows and everything like that. And also being a no sabo kid. So I'm constantly mocked because, how are you Mexican and, you don't speak Spanish and stuff like that. Like, it's hard, but I I I'm so thankful for the guilds and everything, because the fact that like they're literally holding my hand while I'm trying to learn and everything, like it's been amazing. So of course I want to share whatever resource that I find with anybody else, because you never know who it might help.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we've heard from everyone but Wolfia, but no pressure to. I know it's a big question. Do you want to share anything about your dream?
I mean, almost everybody else said almost everything I would have said, but I think the most important thing is literally just having the platform to be able to either inspire or encourage other people to do what they would like to do. And that could be so many different things. That's the cool thing about Twitch in general. There's so many things. Like I see people that do music, there's people that dance, there's people that game, there's people that do crafts. It's open for everybody. So things like this really, I hope, opens up people's eyes and gives them even a bigger, opens up their mind that they can achieve anything.
Agreed. Go for your dreams. So, we've heard a little bit about why you joined the guild and, your specific content creation goals. But what got you inspired to even get involved with the Dream Express Raid Train with Twitch Women's Guild? I know some of you are in the events committee or mentors yourself, so we'll talk about that later. But when you saw the guild coming together for this event, working with 1000 Dreams Fund, you know, supporting other guildies, what sort of spoke to you as part of that raid train to say, hey, I want to do that?
Well, I was very new to the guild when it was being launched. But it was basically just the vibe of hey, you're new here. Come join. I want to get to know you, and you're welcome to be a part of it. And here, get to know your raid neighbors. And there was a lot of like push towards that, and it was just I kind of got carried along with just that inspiring what is it, somebody said in chat, like guildies show up for each other, and it made me want to do that too. And so then I joined. Was a part of it.
Anyone else?
This was actually my second year for fundraising for 1000 Dreams. My first year I did it, and I want to put this out there. If you are a small creator, do it. It doesn't, no matter what amount you raise, it goes for a good cause, not only for us guildies, but for those who are not even in the guilds, you know? We are helping fund people's dreams. And I think that brings me a lot of joy. I'm a very much, Sweetie can attest to this. I am a very caring person, and I love to give. I probably give more of myself to people than I give time to myself. And that's just a huge love language for me, for my family, for my friends. And so being able to help, you know, make funds, giving critical funds and helping guildies get to TwitchCon, get to, you know, maybe they want to do a dream hack, maybe they need to get a new setup and stuff. We are helping fund their dreams and continuing their dreams of content creation, no matter what stage of content creation they're at. And so that's, for me, it's a very passionate thing of being able to give to people who have helped me, or I have helped also as well. And passing, it's like passing the next baton on, you know, almost, because we've all been there where we didn't know how we were going to either go to a convention or, you know, how we were going to be able to get, you know, funds for something we needed in our journey. And we've had people there help us get to those things. So it's always a good, fun way to give back and also just get to meet guildies. We've met so many new guildies through the Dream Express. And I think for me, that's even the bigger highlight, you know, getting to meet guildies who we might not see day to day and stuff. So.
Absolutely. And I know I had so much fun hanging out in your chat. With you were getting ready, I think, doing makeup, and I was asking questions like, "Oh, what product are you using?" So that's what it's about, right? Is hanging out and getting to know each other more. And Marge and I actually met at DreamHack last year, but it was very much like a quick elbow bump. So it was so much fun to get to know you more, and at the same time, like you mentioned, fundraising. You know, of course, it's important, and yes, you know, you want to crush goals, but every single dollar counts, especially when you look at how much was raised. $25,000 altogether. Phenomenal. And that's what you should be proud of at the end of the day. Anyone else want to share, you know, why you got involved with the Dream Express Raid Train?
I was gonna say, I'll be honest, I was already wanting to fundraise before the raid train was even announced. And this was like, I don't know, probably fall of the previous year. And like my brain instantaneously went to Women's History Month. That's when I'll do it. And then it was literally like a month later that the guilds were like, we're doing this whole thing. And I was like, oh my God, this is already perfect then. I already wanted to do this, but now it gives me more of a reason. And it also lessens my anxiety because everybody will be reaching out. It's not just me being like, hey, you want to work with me on this thing? That's really cool. So, so everybody was already, you know, looking for people to collaborate with for their spots and to do really fun and exciting things. So I feel like it just drew more excitement to everything that people might have already been planning to do something with 1000 Dreams. So I was already waiting for it, and this was just an added bonus that made the whole process so much more fun and exciting.
Absolutely. And I have a few questions. We'll talk a little bit more about the Dream Express and, just in general, the collaboration. So I'll hop around. This will be out of order than what we originally planned for, so get ready for that. But Wolfia, I'd love to know, as someone who's been part of both the Twitch Women's Guild and the Latin Guild, why is it so important to have support systems like both of these guilds?
Yeah, so it is, I think it's very, very important in general. Not only does it build community and it gives you the chance to meet people that you probably wouldn't have met otherwise, like we were talking about earlier, but it just gives you the opportunity to be able to talk and either get advice or just throw out a random idea and say, oh, who wants to do this? Who wants to check this out? Who's down? And just opens a lot of fun doors that you wouldn't have done otherwise. And I was thinking about this a little bit earlier, and I kind of narrowed it down to it's kind of like being at TwitchCon all year long, because you get to go to so many awesome chats, and you get to be a part of different events and things that you could go ahead and learn from, or you could just talk to other guildies that of whatever that you would like to talk to about, or you could just ask for advice. So there's just so many different things, and obviously the best parts I think have been the opportunities, just being able to be a part of or try to be a part of something that is bigger that you didn't even think could be a possibility is just really, really, really cool.
Yep. And you were actually part of the Dream Express. What was your favorite part?
I think my favorite part was just learning about all the different people that were participating in it. It was just so interesting to see how so many people have done, how they have their own Twitch channels in their own individual way. And it's so cool to just see, oh, maybe they do this differently, or they say this instead of that, or just the way that they handle that. It's their own world, and it's so cool to step and be a part of it for 1 or 2 hours, or even longer if you decide to stay and follow. And that thing, I think that that's amazing. It's really nice to be able to see others express themselves and talk about the things that they're passionate, just because you're there at that time. And it's so nice. It's been so beautiful.
Agreed. And I think just the networking, these connections from across the world, even, right? People you would have not met otherwise, probably. Very cool, very cool. And I do love that you mentioned it's like TwitchCon every day, because it really is, and you get to engage in so many different capacities or ways that you're comfortable. Yeah, it's been a really great pleasure. I've been there for a year now, and it's been a great year, honestly. Luna, I'd love to know your opinion. You also were part of the Dream Express Raid Train, helping keep the hype going. How was your experience? Was this your first Raid Train?
It was one of the first. Like I had just previously, I think it was for Earth Day or as a VTuber, one of those two. Because this year I also became a member of the Creator Club for VTubers that was also created. But Twitch Women's Guild was the Raid Train was a lot of fun, and there were so many people and so many good things happening, and it was just like Wolfia said. It was really, it was, I don't even, it's hard to put into words, the feeling of, oh my gosh, I'm going to be a part of it. And I also tend to struggle with a bit of anxiety, which kind of makes, is the reason why I tend to leap before I look. And I'll choose to do something before I think about it, because if I think about it, I won't do it. And so that's kind of the same thing that happened with the Raid Train. The call came out, hey guys, do it. And I picked up a slot, and I was like, okay, what did I just sign up for? What did I just do? And then things happened. And when the Raid Train started, I just got on that train, and I wanted to see what other people were doing, because that's also been I talk about inspiration, but it's also kind of like, okay, how are other people doing it? I wanna not make a big fool of myself. Let's see how they're greeting each other, how they're running the stream. And I learned a lot, and more importantly, I wasn't like an anonymous face. Like people, I show up and people are like, "Oh, Luna, I saw your name. You're going to be a part of this, aren't you? Let's go." And I'm like, "What? What? They see me. They've seen me, and I feel noticed." And that just feeling noticed and felt like an actual person that's involved, as opposed to a non, like an NPC that's taken up a spot, was I don't know, life changing, I guess, because again, it definitely inspired me to want to do the same for other people who might not feel seen or acknowledged.
Yep, 100%. And sweetie, I know you were a big part of why the Dream Express was a success. You also are a part of the Dream Team. Say that 5 times fast. Dream Express success. Anyways, so we've loved having you as part of the Dream Team this last year, and we're excited to continue to work together. I know that this is the first time that we met, but we have been able to work together in the past few weeks in other guild ways too, which has been so amazing. So I guess my question for you is, as part of the events committee, why did you step up to help make this event happen in the first place for not only Twitch Women's Guild, but 1DF too?
Honestly, if it wasn't for Meadow and Ash being like, "Hey, we have this idea," and me, Marge, and Anka were just all like, tell us everything. What is it?" We're like, "Please let us know. We want to help in every single way." And I don't know, whenever Ash and Meadow have an idea, we're always hands in immediately. And as soon as they said 1,000 Dreams Fun as well, that it always has my heart. So I cannot not help. And I think that's just how it is with me. And then raid trains are kind of my specialty when it comes to being an event project planner. So I like being able to do my due diligence and being able to be behind the scenes most of the time on this one, though, which was nice, because then whenever train spotters were doing too much, I could just be like, "Hey, you guys need to go take a nap. I'm not going to call anybody out or anything." But the giggles kind of give it away. But I was just like, "Hey, you guys need to take a break. Like, let me take over. Absolutely. Like, I'm here for you guys and everything," because my hours, they were odd for everybody on the mainland, but me being in Hawaii is what definitely made it really nice, because I was the night owl that wasn't staying up as late as everybody was thinking that I was. So it definitely helped out in the long run.
So
And I'm very happy about that.
You were the glue that kept everything together, is what I'm hearing, basically, right?
Me, Marge, and Meadow, we were staying up late when we probably shouldn't have been.
I loved popping into chat, and on the 1DF channel we'd say, "Hey, what's going on?" And I'd always see somebody from the events committee there saying hey as well. So which we'll talk about this, Marge, I think, as also a critical part of the Dream Express raid train. Can you share a little bit more about like what went into the back end planning of this? Like, how was it getting 100 creators together for this event? Please tell me.
Oh boy. So kind of what happened was, I kind of said to Meadow, "Hey, if you need any help, let me know. I'm kind of mostly free for the most part and stuff." And so Meadow was like, "Hey, how would you like to help out? And how would you like to help out?" And I said, "Well, can I help out with the train spotting stuff? Because that's something I don't have experience with when it comes to raid trains. I've never, I've led raid trains before, but I've never kind of done, this one aspect of it." And so Meadow said, "Sure." And Meadow was there. I learned so much from Meadow and Ash that were just skills I didn't have before. And I think that's a good thing that's amazing about when it comes to raid trains is because everyone comes together and helps out in any one way that they can, whether it's through train spotting, social post, being there to cheer everyone on as they follow the train through and stuff. Like, as we all know, lurkers are the core of Twitch. And we had so many guildies who would, you know, they would put the train on as they're working and they would come in and be like, hey, I'm off work. How are we doing, everyone, and stuff. And so it was great getting to kind of get to meet guildies that way and then also work with guildies and helping people who've maybe never worked in a train spotter or social, any kind of aspect of behind the scenes, getting to work with them and getting that knowledge to them. So that way, if they want to later on, they have the skills now to lead their own raid train or to collab with others and create raid trains too. So that's a big aspect of it for me, is teaching people, passing on that baton. As I said earlier, you know, you take your knowledge and you pass it on to others. And it's, as we said, uplift as we go and keep uplifting. Don't drag other people down, you know? So we have that knowledge. Why not pass it on?
Yep. I love that. I love to hear that. And as part of the raid train, I was able to learn a lot from, and I should say behind the scenes, helping pick up pieces here and there for the 1DS side, right? And seeing where I could help you all. But I learned a lot from you all too. And so I've been able to implement that into my own ways with the Pride Guild raid train that's currently going on. So to your point, thank you, Marge, Sweetie, everybody on the team who helped put that together, because it probably wouldn't be happening without you all too.
You've done so amazing with that, Kayla.
Literally,
You have. You and
Just like Meadow
everyone
says, it
from...
takes a village.
Yes.
Yes.
It really does.
And Marge, like I said earlier, we met at DreamHack Dallas. It was kind of in passing, and we were kind of actually, I think, literally elbow to elbow at one point.
Yes.
Trying to speak to somebody together, and I was like, I think maybe that's them over there. Let's go together. Well, tonight we're announcing some of our winners who will be using their funds to get to TwitchCon 2025. So why are these sort of in-person opportunities like DreamHack so important to help creators reach their dreams?
They're important not only for the networking aspect, but to me, you're making genuine connections with other creators. Yes, we all want to get to connect with brands, but I really think the core of it is getting to meet other creators, building those bonds. And then you take those online and you're able to, you know, do raid trains, do collaborative efforts of maybe like playing a co-op game or doing D&D. There's so many different aspects of it that you can do. And just being able to make that connection in person, because, you know, we all talk online, but then we see each other in person. It's like, oh, wow, you're you. Oh my gosh, it's so nice to meet you, you know? And it just makes that bond stronger. But then you also meet people you haven't, you know, in passing. You never had one-on-one time and stuff. And so being able to connect in an event like DreamHack or TwitchCon or PAX or anything, it helps give you a strengthened bond to carry to the online aspect of content creation and everything. So I think that's the biggest thing, because like I said, we all want to connect with brands. But to me, the bigger side of it is connecting with others to be able to make friends and be able to do collaborative efforts with those friends, maybe uplift them through their events that they're working on or doing. So that's, to me, the biggest thing that it comes down to fully.
Yep, absolutely. And Brandy, last but not least, I got some good questions for you too. You actually helped fundraise to make some of these grants happen, as many of you have too. But Brandy actually chose to not only fundraise during Streams for Dreams this March, Women's History Month, but also come back and do it again during the Dream Express. And you crushed your goals. You helped make more than one dream, multiple dreams happen just from your stream alone, which is phenomenal. Can you tell us about your fundraising events? How did it go? How did you feel being able to help uplift other guildies?
So my goal initially, I it was my first time fundraising with you guys, so I was like, and I had just fundraised for a different charity literally the month before, so I was like, I'm gonna just do a modest goal, and I was like, we'll start with this, we'll see where it goes, and literally in the first like 20 minutes of my stream, my community met the goal already and then doubled it. And I was like, "Oh, okay. That's how we're going with this. Awesome." So that only pushed me to want to do more with it, where I was like, "Okay, if my community is as passionate about this as I am, why not keep striving and seeing what we can achieve together and seeing how many more people that will be able to help with the funds that we're raising for this." I'm very blessed to have a community that is as passionate as I am whenever we do charity fundraising stuff and just events where they know that we're helping so many people and uplifting so many others. So it's not just me, it's all of the people that support me behind me that help to make whenever I do put on events like this successful. And it's what pushes me to look forward to the next event because I'm like, okay, well, how can I top this? How can we fundraise even more? How can we have crazier incentives and cosplays that I do on stream and other stuff? I'm like, what is going to be the next thing? And I'm still working on that, but it's been incredible getting to work with y'all for these events, and I'm looking forward to the next things we get to do.
Yeah. Like Meadow said, 2.5, year 3, who knows? Keep your eyes open. So thank you all for being here. I know we are a little bit behind on schedule, but the announcement is coming up very shortly. I have a final question for each of you. As part of your experience with the Twitch Women's Guild so far, again, some of you are part of the events committee, mentors, all of your experience and background looks a little bit different. What would you say your favorite part of the Twitch Women's Guild is? It's a hard one.
I feel like I keep.
Oh, no, go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Luna.
I feel like I keep harping on this, but it's just the inspirational, like almost unconditional support. I don't. I've because of the general openness that I find in the guild. I don't feel afraid to reach out or respond to people's posts, whereas that's not always the case, right? Where you feel like, oh, I'm just a little bean. They won't want to hear from me. It doesn't seem to matter in the guild, and that's my favorite thing. No matter who you are or what size you are, you can be a part of it. It's very empowering.
I was gonna say that too, and I can jump on that too. If there are people who are here and they maybe haven't applied for the guilds, any of the guilds, please do it. You meet so many amazing people, and it doesn't matter you're a big creator, medium, small. Everyone has their strong suits. Everyone, small, medium, and large, and everyone is going to have knowledge that if you have a question, someone in the guild will be able to answer that question for you. You might be able to get multiple people who have the same answer, but they have a different way of answering it. So you get different perspectives. And I think that's the greater knowledge you get from the guilds is when you need help, guildies are there ready to help you out and uplift you through anything and everything. And also just, be supportive. It's amazing to be supportive in a group of people who their dreams are just the same as yours.
And Softy just said in the chat, someone once told me, you're not a small streamer, you're a growing streamer. And that's how the Unity guilds make me feel. I think that's perfect. Anyone else? What's been your favorite part so far being part of the guild?
I would just say that, the guilds in general, but specifically the women's guild is like, I don't know, it's like a safe space, like a family. Not to be like sappy with it, but I've joined other guilds and other clubs. I don't know if like being part of like the Women's Alliance and the Women's Guild first holds like a little extra special place in my heart. But like whenever I feel like I have a question or I have a concern or I don't know what to do with something or anything in relation to like literally anything, I feel like there's a place within the Women's Guild that I can go to, or people I can reach out to, where I know I'm not gonna feel judged, or I'm gonna feel like whatever question I have is stupid or not, right or whatever. I feel like it's a place. It's my first plan of action whenever I need to know information. It's like, okay, let me check the guild Discord. What is everybody else saying? What is everybody else talking about? What's the info? Like even today when TwitchCon tickets went on sale, I immediately went to the guild and I was like, what's going on? Who's getting stuff? What's happening? Like, it's my go-to. It's my safe spot, and I'm incredibly blessed to be part of it all.
Sweetie
Yes.
or Wolfia?
Yes, I agree with everything, all of that. I think the biggest and the most, like the best thing that has come out of the Women's Guild has been the aspect of community and the way that you're able to just bond with people that you might not know, but you tend to know by the end of that conversation or the end of the day after a while. So it's really it's been super nice to be able to make genuine friends without there being a block of, oh, small, big, or this or that. It's just we all just relate, and that I think that's been the biggest thing.
Sweetie, pressure's on.
Yeah. Well, so I know this is gonna be really sappy right now. I grew up with older brothers. I didn't have any sisters, and so the Women's Guild is pretty much the closest thing to a sisterhood that I get, and it's literally wonderful because I met Jackie literally saying I made my best friends in chat, and I was just about to say that. But like there's so many wonderful deep connections that you make whenever you get into these close proximities with these people, and it's so nice and then wonderful, and you can make that on Twitch. It's really nice to have a space where you can make it an even closer connection though.
Agreed. I think the guilds do such a great job of making us unified. Who would have thought? Under one goal, right? And all being there for the same reasons. That's what it just feels so strong and special. And as someone who does have sisters, I'm happy to have you here, sweetie, and we're happy to be you're our sister, right? At this point, you're everybody's sister. So no, it's a special bond. I think want to thank you all for taking the time to even be here and chat. Again, I know we were running behind, so you're so gracious, and I think it's a special evening that just puts the icing on the cake, cherry on top of why the Unity Guilds are here and what the Twitch Women's Guild is all about. So before we go, anything else you'd like to share with chat, especially the femmes in this space? Anything at all?
Don't be afraid to go after your dreams, and don't let anyone tell you you can't achieve them, because you can, and you will achieve them. We've all been in that place where we've had people try to knock us down and try to bring us down instead of uplift us, and don't listen to them. You have an entire guild to help uplift you and help you get to where you want to be, and who are ready to support you.
Also, if you're not already a part of the guilds, applications are open indefinitely.
Oh yeah.
Sign up.
Come join
Do
us.
I think the one thing that I want to say is just that, you make more of a difference than you think. You make more of an impact than you think. And it's just something to keep in mind when you're feeling a little powerless.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone else? Anything else you'd like to add?
Lastly, just do it. Whatever it is that you're trying to do, just go ahead and do it. Honestly, I think that's the best thing. Put yourself out of your comfort zone. Try out different things. Just really give yourself the opportunity to grow, especially in places where it is allowed and you can.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Amazing. Well, thank you everyone for joining us again. I'm going to pop the link in the chat to where you can apply for the Twitch Unity Guilds here in a moment. But everyone, please share your thank yous to everybody you see on screen. I'm going to put their links in the chat one more time. Go drop them follows, give them love, all of that fun stuff. Before we get to the announcement, we actually have a thank you and message from our founder, Christy Garten, congratulating our winners. So we'll be back soon. Bye.
Christy, founder of 1000 Dreams Fund here. I just wanted to say congratulations to our 2025 Broadcaster Grant winners. We have been running this program at 1000 Dreams Fund for many years, going back to 2018, and we've supported so many dreams. This year, for the second time in a row, we teamed up with the Twitch Women's Guild to raise critical dollars during Women's History Month and our Streams for Dreams fundraiser. Thanks to their efforts, over $25,000 were raised, and because of that, we were able to fund many of you and your dreams of going to TwitchCon this year. We're so excited. I just want to give a huge shout out to all of the Women's Guild members who made this possible. We could not do this work without you. I want to also thank the Twitch Women's Guild co-chairs for your efforts, and to everyone who supports our work. These dreams matter, and we could not do this work without you. Congratulations again to our winners.
Hello, hello. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for being here and for sticking around. I know everyone is super excited, but I want to share one final massive thank you again to our supporters, our donors, the community for making March and this spring one to remember. A very special thank you to the Twitch Women's Guild with over $25,000 raised alone. These grants are not possible without them, and we can't wait to make even more dreams come true this year. So we've heard from the Twitch Women's Unity Guild, we've heard from the co-leaders, we've shared some of our favorite Streams for Dreams fundraiser moments, and we got to chat with fellow guildies along the way. I think, though, it may be time. I'm not sure. Are we ready? Are we ready? I think we're ready. Yes? Maybe? Maybe? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Ah! A huge congratulations to our Twitch Women's Guild winners. We had an overwhelming amount of applicants from the Twitch Women's Guild. Over 200 people applied, and we are so thrilled to be able to provide each of these creators access to funding. These winners will use funds for critical hardware, upgrades to their setup, or even TwitchCon 2025 to see their fellow guildies, their community, and get access to networking and knowledge. So please, let's share some huge congrats in the chat for all of these winners. Let's get them hyped. Let's go. Yeah! It's been so exciting being part of this announcement and officially kicking off the second year of this collaboration alongside the Twitch Women's Guild. A huge congratulations again to all of our winners today. And to those that applied who did not see your name on this list, remember, keep applying. each opportunity we have, whether it's the grant, the currently open Academy Fellowship, other programs that are soon to be coming up very soon. I promise you, we see you, we hear you, your dream is valid, and we want to be able to support you along the way. So do not give up. I promise we're going to be here for a long time. Thank you again to Ash. Thank you to Meadow. Thank you to the Twitch Women's Guild for joining us. And thank you to everyone all in the chat for being here. We're going to go ahead and raid over to one of our Twitch Women's Guild members. And please remember, dare to dream. Bye-bye.